Hello, how are you? I'm Shorty Q, and if you're new, what it do? I hope you become part of the Q crew. It's free to subscribe. I hope you know what I mean. So, we are on the last segment of relationships, and we're at communication. What is communication? Of course, it's the key. I saved the best for last. So, the first thing I want to say about communication in relationship is to be clear about what you want in relationship. And if you're not clear, maybe you shouldn't start one. And let's just be real. The saying that they always say is that for someone to love themselves, in order for you to love yourself and everything about yourself, then you're going to know how to tell that person to love you. And you think it's cliche, that's absurd, it actually is true. If there is anything that you specifically don't like about yourself, like if it's your weight, then fix it, because then you wouldn't be able to accept the love because you don't feel like you deserve the love, which is absurd because you did. And it just messes with your mental. You know, if you have insecurities about yourself that you know you need to work on, it doesn't specifically mean that you should not be in a relationship whatsoever. You could probably still work on those things in the relationship. Work on those things. A lot of people normally know when they don't need to be serious relationship yet. So be clear, communicative with yourself and with someone else about what you're looking for in a relationship from the very beginning. And don't stop. Keep your foot down. I feel like I made a mistake in my long-term relationship. It's like lifting my foot. Oh, maybe I'm being too stern. Maybe I'm being too this. Maybe I'm being too that. And then as soon as I let up a little bit on my morals of the relationship that I'm specifically looking for, it didn't go the way I wanted it. I guess that's definitely one thing I regret. I did go back to it, but it wasn't. I don't feel like it was quick enough. So that's why I've given advice when people are too stern. I mean, there is certain things sometimes that people are just being way too, like, is there any room for someone to be human? You got to be patient with them. They can't have every single thing on your list. You know, they can't be this absolute perfect. There's no such thing as this fairy tale prince that you're trying to make up. Be realistic, but at the same time, most of the time you're not asking for too much, and it's something specific that you're looking for, that you mesh with, that you know that you work better with, that you should look for. Even when it comes to money and looks, especially when it comes to looks is gonna change, especially on a woman. You don't know what it's gonna do after pregnancy and all this type thing. So, I mean, anything can happen. So don't put all your hopes and all your being into looks. I mean, of course, it's your first thing that you look at and you're attracted to, but I'm just saying in general, have a mature mind about it. Children and religion, they are the first things that you should already know in a relationship if you're going to be fine with. Like if someone is a totally different religion or wherever the case may be and you're not, a lot of times a lot of people work with that and a lot of other people don't. Don't sit up here and continue to put a religion off on somebody else that is not their religion, that's not what they practice, not what they study. The relationship is not going to work. That's something you should already discuss at the very beginning and should have already had to find with. A lot of people just push that in the back of their head and just continue to keep on with the relationship like it's going to be healthy. It's going to become toxic pretty quickly. Children, don't sit up here. Seen a lot of couples and a lot of people think that they can convince somebody to want children when they have specifically said they do not want children. Sometimes there is a accident or incident, condom broke, whatever case may be, and you end up having a baby. And then the wife decides they want to keep the baby even though they've known all this time that they did not want to have a baby, have children in the relationship period. It's messed up if they do decide not to be involved. You can be ticked off, period. But still, like, you knew from the beginning, though. And if you don't believe in abortions, it is what it is. So it's just a lot of things that you have to be mature about. When it comes to relationship, it's always going to be a risk. There's going to be a risk because life doesn't guarantee that everything's going to stay the same all the time. It'd be that big of a risk if you're able to keep things balanced, right? But yeah, don't do that. There's a lot of children that have been killed and died over just petty, messed up stuff, and they didn't want children or had children previously to the husband that you have now, and those are not their kids, and they treat them terrible or they end up killing them. So it's not a game. It's not cute. It's not funny. Like, seriously, if they're not willing to accept your children from the very beginning, let it go. That should immediately make you unattracted to them from jump. Relationships, I feel like, should be easy. If you have that connection, you have that energy, and you can keep things balanced, things should just flow because you're open, you're being honest with each other, and you're being communicative, and you're constantly communicating on a regular basis. And I don't feel like it should be that hard. Sometimes it can be hard, and you do run into hurdles because when things happen in life where you're going to lean onto someone more than others, or someone's going to carry the weight more than the other person in the partnership, but that's the reason why you want a partner in life, so they can be that person. The person's supposed to take on the weight, and then the other person's supposed to take on the weight. If you feel wore out, communicate that, and then they should be able to take over or do the best they can to take some of that burden off of you. It should be so much more easier than it is these days. When it becomes difficult is when one person within those brackets, trust, finances, intimacy, and communication, that they're just not fixing. One person knows what's going on, is telling them, hey, this is what we need to do to fix it, and then the other person is just not trying to help to fix it, stays consistent for 1 week, and then they just drop off. And you already told them and expressed, like, this is really not attractive to me, I don't like it. You already telling them, like, hey, this is not going to work for me if this continues. Then they change nothing. And I'm not telling you to change anything about yourself personality-wise. I'm just referring to what you can do better in a relationship to make it better for that person too. Don't be selfish. You can't be selfish in a relationship. There's no I in team. Cliche, I know. Really don't work on it and don't fix it. Don't be afraid to start over. That gets a lot of people stuck for a very long time because they feel like, I can't start over. I don't care, no matter what age you are, you deserve better. If they put their hands on you, or they did something really messed up that you can't go back to because of that, don't be afraid to start over. It becomes toxic, it becomes you living in heck at that point, and you shouldn't even have to continue to deal with that. Especially if you got children involved, you can't be your best you for your children if you continue to be in that toxic relationship. I don't understand what's up with the dating scene. Look like anyone is specifically looking for a partner in life. They're just looking for something material, or they're just looking for a trophy wife that just look good. I don't know about you, but I need you to have all these things to stay in balance to be in a relationship with me. Why is people not looking for partners? You know what I mean? Why are we not on the same page? You want someone who is your equal in mindset, and someone that can, or above, that can elevate you in your mindset. But I hope I was able to help you guys with all these 4 segments. Please, if you ran into this video about communication and you haven't seen the other 3, go and find trust, finances, and intimacy. And they will all be, I'm going to put it all in a playlist, so it'll be easy to find, and it's going to be listed as relationships. This is a tool that I've used all the years, and they still staying true. Keep these things in balance, and you should be able to have a healthy relationship and be able to pinpoint what the problem is. Questions or concerns about your relationships, or if something you feel like doesn't fit in any of these categories, let me know. Remember, you guys, you are beautifully, wonderfully made. Only you can make that change, and I'll see you guys next time. Deuces.